Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode of the Gentlemen's Club. This is the first episode that I'm conducting for the year 2018. Today is January 1st, and this special video that I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to talk about all of my favorite men's channels right here on YouTube. This is my top 15. Whatever. All right, my top 15 YouTube channels for men right here on YouTube. And this is in no specific order. And in fact, I think I'm going to go down the list in alphabetical order and talk about each one of these very special channels. But until we get started, I'm going to turn around real quick and pour myself a whiskey, the first whiskey of 2018. All right, so this whiskey that I just poured myself, this is the Hakushu, and I haven't drank this since I've conducted the review over it. Smells very fruity. If you take a look at that last video I did, what was the last video that I did? I did something, my bar. Of course, obviously I would have to remember that with all these whiskeys sitting right here behind me. But the last video that I did in 2017, I showcased my bar, all of the whiskeys that I own inside of my possession. As I was talking about this one, I looked back at that video and I said that this one comes inside of this green bottle, which conjures up thoughts of like fruits like green apples and pears and some floral notes. But instead of saying green apples, I accidentally said oranges inside of that video. Please forgive me. But anyways, yes, it smells quite nice. It tastes better than I remember as well, too. That's very nice and very chewable. Anyways, getting on with today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. This is Andy Hunter on the ADRIQOS live show. This is just one of the many channels that I follow and watch right here on YouTube. And possibly, I think this is the first channel that I'm going to talk about today. Yes, it is. So anyways, without further ado, these are my top 15 men's channels on YouTube. The first channel is ADRIQOS. If you haven't seen this channel before, or if you're not a subscriber to it, essentially what it is I want to say 85% this channel is about watches and horology and expensive watches of this nature. And it maybe even a couple of cheaper watches, but cheap as in like as low as maybe $400 cheap, not like $100 cheap watches, you know what I mean. And the other 10 to 15% of this channel is just this guy, the host, Andy Hunter, talking about life or just experiences that he had, or just all kinds of miscellaneous things that have nothing to do with horology at all. But the reason that I subscribe to this channel is not about his knowledge on watches. I mean, which I do watch it for that reason, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is just because of his humor. I don't know, it's my type of humor. So that's why I like to watch this show. But definitely a channel for men. It's not really raunchy or anything like that. I mean, I can't remember the last time he threw out a couple of F-bombs. Maybe he stopped doing that, but I can't recall. Anyways, but I do watch this channel. It's not too bad. Not too bad. And the language department or the content. Actually, before I move on to the next channel, there is one thing that I want to mention. Andy Hunter is, I think he's a subscriber because he's always commenting on the videos here. He's a subscriber of this channel actually, which is a nice benefit. Is that what I call that? It's nice to have one of my peers that I watched originally before I started churning out videos, to have this guy take note of me and to start watching this channel, it's kind of a nice feeling to get that from a peer, an elder peer, so to speak. Not to make you sound old, guy, but okay. The next channel that I'm going to speak about that I subscribe to is actually Andy Hunter's nemesis. His name is this guy goes by the name of ARCHIELUXURY. ARCHIELUXURY is the alter ego of an Australian guy by the name of PuTA. And PuTA is the self-proclaimed pontiff of horology. And I do subscribe to this channel specifically for this guy's knowledge on expensive watches. He has everything from a Patek Philippe World Time, as cheap as an Omega Speedmaster, and as of lately, a Breitling Super Ocean is the cheapest watch that he has inside of his possession. None of these watches cheap by any stretch of the imagination. Anything over $2,000 is quite expensive to me, but this guy has watches going all the way up to about $30,000, I believe. Anyways, I love this guy's channel just based on his knowledge for watches, but his life views and things like that, you might want to stay clear of him for that. To put it out there, this is definitely a men's channel by all means, but unfortunately it's not the type of men's channel that you're thinking of. This is very raunchy stuff. When this guy's not talking about watches, he's talking about mongerish type of stuff. This guy's a monger. That's exactly what he is. But he doesn't shy away from being a monger. One of the reasons that I appreciate him and his channel is that he's open about being a monger. I mean, there's other quote-unquote watch channels, not horology, but watch channels out there that have these self-proclaimed guys that hold themselves in high esteem and in high places and regards, and they're very full of it, and they're very fraudulent and fake about who they are and what it is that they do. No names given, but the reason I like Paul is that he's honest about who he is without lying to oneself or without lying to his audience. We could take this guy at face value. Because of YouTube's policy for monetization, he cleaned up his language quite a bit, but if you were to look at any of his videos from about a year ago and previous to that, you would see that this guy has a very filthy mouth and he drops a lot of F-bombs actually. But he's humorous, and I find him not so harmful. It's not the way that I want to present myself or the way that I'm going to talk to my audience, but I mean, if that's what he wants to do, and that's how he projects himself, I mean, it's kind of humorous the way that he does it. And I don't know if it's intentional or if that's... Anyways, I watch this guy purely for the fact that he is the top horology channel on YouTube for me personally. This guy's knowledge of watches, and he could just go off the top of head like that and name a reference of a watch and tell you all the finer details and inner workings about these fine timepieces. Okay, so after introducing these top 15 with 2 watch channels, the third channel that I'm going to talk about, this one is a fitness channel that has changed from being fitness motivational to being more now business and entrepreneur oriented and motivational in that regard, for trying to teach you how to work for yourself and start your own business. This guy goes by the name of Elliott Hulse, and he was one of the first, if not first, fitness guru on YouTube to, I believe, reach 1 million subscribers, which is no small feat. But now the fitness community on YouTube has quite taken off to a very big degree. I believe there's a whole lot of channels now that have either reached or are near reaching the 1 million subscriber count. And I love absolutely all of them, but Elliott Hulse, this guy, his knowledge of business and his mindset is so much above everybody else's. The way that he speaks eloquently, he breaks things down to a science, and he speaks in a very philosophical way, but yet easy to understand, and that is rare. With trying to take off my own business and launch my own YouTube channel to a higher degree than what it is now, I look to his channel for reference to take any small, tiny morsel of anything that I could capture from him that might be able to rub off on me, that I can duplicate and help me to try to duplicate success in that regard. Number 4 is Haircut Harry. Now, this is not the only haircut YouTube channel that I look at. There are others, but the reason I like this channel so much is that it's purely based on the art of the haircut, and he showcases it in a very fine way. He has a cameraman following him around to all these different places around the United States, around the world. Every time this guy goes in for a new cut, every 2 to 3 months, he has somebody with him to chronicle that new cut. YouTube has so many niche markets on it that it seems weird in concept if you explain to somebody the things that you enjoy watching on YouTube. Like if I were to go to my coworkers and I tell them that I enjoy watching people getting haircuts on YouTube, they would look at me as if I'm crazy. But once you take a look at these channels and you see it for yourself and you see how intriguing it is, when I'm looking at Haircut Harry, I'm just wondering, how is the next person going to cut his hair differently from the person previous to that? And you look at the different barbers that could be, from guys with tattoos all on their necks and arms, that look very hype beast-esque or hipster style, to a guy that's going on 90 years old that's still cutting hair. And it's absolutely amazing just looking at these different people from different walks of life and their perception to, or technique, so to speak, to cutting hair. I seen one guy on his channel that had these big scissors that are like, I don't know, like a foot long, and he's twirling these things as if he's a shooter at the OK Corral. And this guy is based out in Las Vegas, I believe it was. And he's twirling these things around and he's taking big snips of hair off at a time. The technique is very different from what any other barber would do, and it's very interesting watching that. The next YouTube channel, this one is yet again another watch channel. This guy goes by the name of J. Anthony. I like J. Anthony because on the horology scene, he's somewhat tame a little bit. Andy Hunter got the personality. This guy loves the camera. He's not camera shy. He could present himself in a very, in like an actor sort of way, so to speak. And PLUTA, this guy's just, aka ARCHIELUXURY, this guy's just a character in himself. He's a monger. He's sort of funny for the content that he talks about, but he knows a lot about watches. But this guy's very extreme to a whole lot of extents. J. Anthony is just very tame. When he talks about watches, he just talks about the watches and just about the details. He doesn't mention much of anything about his personal life. When you just want to hear about watches in that sense that you just want to know about what you're looking at, he just gives it to you straight, and then the video ends and that's it. So I like him in that regard. But he's considering him somewhat in the middle, in the in-between point of the ADRIQOS channel and ARCHIELUXURY. Yet again, I have another haircut channel that I would like to present. This one is this guy who goes by the name Jeff the Master Barber. And the reason that this is different from Haircut Harry is because Haircut Harry himself, he's not a barber. He's a patron that goes around to different barbershops getting haircuts, and he just lets the barber have free range of what they want to do. Jeff the Master Barber is himself a barber, and he's teaching you, the viewer, barbering techniques. So even if you come into watching his channel with no knowledge about how to cut hair, you're going to take something away from him in knowing how to cut hair yourself. And I look at some of his videos to give me some techniques about how to cut my friend's hair, or even how to cut my own hair, or to take a look at what type of haircut apparatus is good, or is, to maybe not all barbers, but to a majority of them, an aggregated what is good and what's not for barber apparatus. So I looked at Jeff the Barber for that. But this guy, he's so gentlemanlike, and the way that he presents himself, he talks about the haircut. This guy, I mean, whether you're Christian or not, you can appreciate this guy's morals and values. This guy is very thankful to God for his position that he's in, and to be the success that he is on YouTube. And he's very thankful for that. He's very humble. I like this guy. He's a gentleman in the heart, and that makes me appreciate his channel even that much more. But he knows a great deal about barbering. And if you want to learn just a few techniques just so that you can start cutting your own hair and stop wasting $20 every 2 weeks, make sure you subscribe to this guy's channel. Let's Get Made. Let's Get Made is the absolute coolest men's channel on YouTube, bar none, period. This guy has an aura about him. It's hosted by the legend Mac Newell. This guy has an aura about himself that just oozes coolness. This guy talks about everything from men's fashion to suits to ties to how to talk to a lady for the first time at the bar. I mean, it could be anything, but it's mostly a men's lifestyle channel. And just, I have no words off the top of head how to explain it. You just got to watch it and see it. And this guy is going to captivate you from the time you hit the play button. Let's Get Made is like a couple of other channels that I'm going to name soon. But the reason that this one is special is that he has so much personality and character. And man, he just captivates you. I know I sound like a broken record, but just that's what I can say. Just make sure you subscribe to that one. I mean, I would like for you to subscribe to all 15 of these channels, but if there's only one that you can get out of this, this is the all-encompassing channel. Mac is legend. Name of the channel is Let's Get Made. The next channel is yet again another haircut channel. This one is called the Nomad Barber. This one is very much like Haircut Harry, where Nomad Barber himself, his name is Miguel. Miguel goes around to these different countries. He's getting a haircut. He's getting a wet shave. He's getting a head massage, whatever. But in some videos, he also teaches barbering techniques. In some videos, he's also giving haircuts as well. But the reason that this one is unlike Haircut Harry is that he likes to do a lot of documentary style videos. And some of them is more about the philosophy behind giving and getting a haircut. And it just goes a little bit deeper than what Haircut Harry goes. I mean, if you are wanting to learn about hair cutting from techniques that have been started 60 years ago in Hong Kong from a Shanghainese barber or something like that, then, have at it. But it gets a little bit too deep sometimes for me, but I still enjoy it. I enjoy the presentation of it all. PumpChasers. This is the second fitness channel that I'm naming right here on my top 15. PumpChasers is unlike Elliott Hulse because Elliott Hulse is just full of philosophy, and actually Elliott Hulse is more talking than he is working out. PumpChasers, man, my boy Chris, this guy is pumping out reps, and he's telling you what you should do to take your fitness to the next level, your lifting to the next level. This guy is more about putting in the work and showing you how it's done, the proper techniques to the lift, rather than getting behind the philosophical side of things. He's just raw and dirty, and that's what I absolutely love about this guy's channel. Chris is, listen, you're starting out as a newbie, like you've never set foot in the gym a day in your life, or maybe you have been going to the gym, but you know, you've been doing it all wrong, and you want to learn the proper way to how you should be doing it. This channel is for novices as well as the advanced crowds. My man, RaJuR, Real Deep Cool. I like this guy a lot. This guy's whole channel is dedicated to fragrances. This guy talks about everything from Eau de Cologne to Eau de Toilette to Eau de Perfume to body oils. This guy is the absolute king of fragrances. And if you take a look at his channel and at these videos where he's showcasing all the fragrances that he has inside of his cages, hundreds of fragrances that this guy has. And this guy is knowledgeable every bit as much as ARCHIELUXURY knows about watches. This guy is the pontiff of fragrances. He should have a lot more subscribers than what he does have, but unfortunately, I don't think this guy is tagging his videos the right way. But man, this guy should have hundreds of thousands of subscribers as it is. But you know, he's a fairly well-to-do channel, and people are picking up on it from word of mouth. But I feel like he should have made progress a lot sooner than what he has been. But anyways, if you want to know anything about fragrances, you subscribe to him. Again, the name of that channel is RaJuR, Real Deep Cool, and I'll put it down inside the description because you don't spell RaJuR the way that you think that it's spelled. The next channel that I want to talk about is ralfydotcom. This is one of two whiskey channels that I subscribe to right here on YouTube. ralfydotcom is very knowledgeable. This guy has inside of his review database over 600 reviews and listings of different whiskeys that he's tried up until this point in time. In fact, I think he's going on 700 soon if he hasn't already cracked that. But he's probably my number 2 favorite whiskey reviewer. He's from Scotland, and I like his demeanor. I like the way he presents himself. He's just an average bloke. He doesn't talk over your head in a very pretentious way or use these very quote-unquote big words or anything like that to describe the whiskey. He's a very down-to-earth guy, which is why I appreciate him and his presentation so much, because I can understand him from a person-to-person point of view. Next up, this is an all-encompassing style channel. The name of this channel is called Real Men, Real Style, hosted by Antonio Centeno. This guy, he used to be an ex-Marine, probably an officer. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if he was an officer, but probably, just based on his demeanor and how he presents himself in his videos. This guy is absolute classy. This guy breaks down the basics of how you should be wearing your clothes, what color combinations work together, how you should pair your tie with your pocket square, how to tie a tie, what size length your suit jacket should be, how baggy your pants should be, the length of your pants, what color shoes goes with what color belt. This guy breaks down everything to an absolute science in a way that anybody can understand it. There are so many fashion victims out there that are just absolutely going out there breaking all the rules because they think that this combination of whatever that they're putting on is going to go together and it's going to work. Let me be the one to tell you that it's not, and he tells you why it's not. This is why you need to be paying attention to this channel. He'll correct you on all the things that you've been getting wrong for so many years, and that's what I love about Real Men, Real Style. The next channel is Teachingmensfashion. Think of this one as being like Real Men, Real Style, but Real Men, Real Style is for a man with, it's just for a man. Teachingmensfashion is like teaching men's fashion from the point of view of a younger gentleman that's like, this is more targeted towards millennials and men in their early 20s and things like that. Real Men, Real Style is targeted to the distinguished gentlemen of all ages. But I like that this guy comes from a younger generation, and he's teaching the younger generation new methods and new ways to look at this fashion, as opposed to just going by the numbers and by the books. And I think it's cool that the host himself, Juan, is an ethnic minority, because let's face it, inside the United States, inside the world, not everybody looks alike. We're not all one shade of peach. You know, we come from different walks of life. We look a little bit different from one another. He can help me out with things inside of my skin complexion. You know what I mean? How to get things that look good on me. Or just things that look good on anybody in general, no matter what you look like or who you are. I like that about Juan. Valuetainment. This channel, this is a motivational speaker in a entrepreneurial type role. I like Valuetainment because it's showing you how to be the businessman you was born to be, and it breaks things down in layman's terms so that you can simply understand it, and he gives you the right motivation to just enough to get you motivated to get up out of your seat and do something to change the way that you are living and the way that you conduct business, so that you can do better business for yourself and make off with that loot at the end. And the final channel that I'm going to talk about today is number 15. I guess that's a 15. Is whiskey.com, hosted by Mr. Horse Looning, who is quote unquote the master taster, and his son, who is the co-host, Benedict Looning. Both of these guys hail from Germany, and they have a very big whiskey distribution website and company inside of Germany. And these guys, I think they're easily raking in a couple of million or a few million dollars from the business that they run just inside of their country alone and inside of the EU. I think that they could distribute to the rest of the EU. It's not just Germany. Or maybe it is, I don't know. But a great marketing scheme to help them with their brand awareness is they have these YouTube channels. And actually they have two separate YouTube channels, one called whiskey.de and the other called whiskey.com. Obviously, one is targeted towards the German language speaking audience, and the other one is targeted towards the English speaking audience. And what this guy does is he talks about how whiskey is made from cradle to grave, grave being the point in time where you consume it and you drink it, and then it just goes out the other end to the toilet, to giving reviews and tasting tests over a wide range of whiskeys. This channel speaks to me just a little bit more than ralfydotcom. It's hard to say who's more knowledgeable here. I mean, that's really up for debate. Let's just say that these guys are equals, ralfy.com and Mr. Horse Looning of whiskey.com. But the delivery and how they present the information is very different. Ralphie is very raw in his presentation, and he doesn't care about his presentation so much. He just cares about delivering the information to you in a very straightforward way. The way things is done at whiskey.com is very clean. The placement is just right. Everything is very well organized. And I like the way he presents. This guy has this ASMR thing going on. He's like the Bob Ross of whiskey, so to speak. It's very soothing for me to look at this channel, and I learn a lot from him at the same time. And in fact, all of the whiskey reviews that I've done right here on the Gentlemen's Club channel has been inspired, aka influenced, by what this guy is doing over at his channel. Now, I'm not just trying to copy this guy. Influence is the word of the day here. But he's one of the people to convert me to consuming whiskey as my poison of choice for alcohol. and to helping me understand why this is the absolute finest of all the alcohol choices that you can make to poison yourself with. Because let's face it, a majority of the world thinks that champagne is the creme de la creme of sophisticated drinks. But let me tell you, it absolutely is not. And if you just understood the reasons why. You never knew consuming alcohol had so many layers to it until you watch whiskey.com to understand the many faucets behind what goes into making this drink and the different pleasures you get just from consuming one drink. From the nose to on the tongue to the aftertaste that it leaves inside of your mouth and the residue that it leaves on your mind long after you have consumed it. With champagne, it's more like you take your flutes, you say, let's celebrate, you clean the glasses together, you sip it, you say that's good, and then that's the end of the story. This one has dimensions behind it. And that is why I love whiskey.com. Anyways, gentlemen, this is Mark Antomati for the Gentlemen's Club signing out. I would like to thank you once again for watching my top 15 men's channels right here on YouTube. If I didn't say it already at the beginning of the video, make sure you go down to the description. I have links to all 15 of these channels. Subscribe to every last one of them, to be honest with you. You can't go wrong with any of these channels. Thank you, gentlemen, for watching my first video of the year. Got big things in store for the channel this year. Stay tuned. And that is it. Salute. And as always, gentlemen, you know what to do. Keep it classy.